What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. The Geeky guy here, and today we'll be looking at Fi the Draconic Ninja, basically giving my thoughts and the possible deck building process that will go in to building this deck. Once all the card has been revealed, I don't want to actually jump into deck building as of yet. We're gonna go through some of the cards that I feel is definitely going to see play in Fi, and we're gonna start this by looking at the equipment choice. We're gonna start out with weapons. So for weapons, we have Searing Emberblade, we have Kodachi and Age of Autumn. So each of these weapons has their own pros and cons. Starting with Searing Emberblade, which is basically Fi's signature weapon. So this is definitely the go-to weapon that everyone is going to try out first. But the problem is here, definitely, if you guys take a look, is the resource cost. You're gonna toss 2 for 5 to use this, and if you want to have go again, you need to be controlling 2 or more draconic chain links. Now, of course, this is easy to achieve because the draconic attacks for 5 are rather cheap, usually costing 1 to 2. But also the blade itself, which I like the fact that it is a draconic. It counts as towards the draconic chain link, but the thing is the resource cost is just a bit too hefty. Now if you take a look at Kodachi, Kodachi definitely has some advantage over Searing Emberblade, one being the cost and then also extending the chain link by 2, because if you Kodachi twice, you're basically reaching chain link 2, and then most of draconic attacks has the keyword rupture, which basically activates on the chain link 4 and above. So Kodachi does help into achieving that, but remember, Kodachi doesn't count towards draconic chain links. So if you want to have draconic chain links, Kodachi is definitely a bit hard to achieve on that aspect. But if you want to reach to chain link 4 in order to activate rupture, so Kodachi definitely helps. But remember that for Kodachi to have go again, you're gonna have to pitch a 0 cost blue. Yeah, that's the best case scenario. Of course, you can pitch a 0 cost red, and then you're gonna pitch yellow, whatever. But still, Kodachi, to build around Kodachi, you definitely need a lot of 0 cost. I wouldn't say a lot, but 0 cost blue is definitely a must in the deck. So if you're building around Kodachi, that is going to be the disadvantage. I wouldn't call it that much of a disadvantage, because you're gonna see that Fi has a bunch of 0 cost blues that are pretty good. Once moving on, next we have Age of Autumn. So definitely this is for the cost of 1. It has 1 and go again. So the advantage this has over Kodachi is the fact that it doesn't require a 0 cost pitch in order for it to go again. It already has go again, but it doesn't extend the chain link as far as Kodachi does, and also it's, in terms of resource cost, definitely is cheaper than Searing Emberblade. So these 3 weapons is going to, I'm guessing, taken into account during deck building Fi, but most I think would definitely lean towards Searing Emberblade or Kodachi. Age of Autumn is just a bit of it's just not worth of building around it. I feel people would want to build definitely want to build around Searing Emberblade and Kodachi if they wish to go that route. Next, we're gonna take a look at the equipment. Of course, we want to have Mask of Momentum. If the 3rd or higher chain link in a row hit, it basically fits very well with Fi. It's just a ninja playstyle of going as wide as possible, so threatening a Master is always good. So definitely the headpiece here, without question, a Mask of Momentum. And for the arm, we have a Tiger Stripe Shuko and also Heatwave. So these are the 2 options we have in terms of playstyle, depending on what type of deck you're going for. If you're going for a more OTK kind of playstyle, which I believe some of the channels that already have some build for it, you guys can check them out. I'm going to link their channel down in the description below. One is by TCG Talk, another one I can't remember by who, but these guys are definitely on to really play a lot of ninja, so they know what they are talking about, so you guys can check them out. So Heatwave is definitely geared towards that one big turn where you have a super wide turn, and you want to deal as much possible as damage as possible, while Tiger Stripe is more of a consistent damage kind of build, and also it has the blade break, so you can actually block pretty efficiently with this. it blocks for 2. You can just throw 2 cards with the 3 blocks in order to block for 5. So that's definitely an option. So we have 2 of these for the arm, and of course for the leg we can always go for the either the Snapdragon or the Tide Slippers, but I still feel Snapdragon would be better, just because of the condition that it provides. Yes, go again. And Tide Slippers does have some condition in order for it to have that. So overall, both might work, but I would prefer Snapdragon. Next, we are looking at the chess piece. So chess piece, we have the new Draconic chess piece, which provides resource for every red pitch. You have in the pitch zone, but remember you do have to play a red. So in this case, we have 2 options, either this or a tunic. So both are actually viable option for Fi. The fact that tunic actually helps generate 1 extra resource every 3 turns is pretty good, always has been good. And for the Draconic chess piece itself, I wouldn't think that Fi has much use out of it, but you do get 3 blocks out of it, so that's pretty good. So you can consider that against playing against some classes that deals quite a bit of damage, like warrior and stuff. So it basically acts as a Scalada in Briar, so it's pretty similar to that. Now we're gonna jump into some of the non-attack action we can see in Fi. Definitely Rise from the Ashes is one of the good ones, because it basically buffs up all the ninja attack action as the next ninja attack action or Draconic attack action by 3. So we can even return a Phoenix Flame from your graveyard to your hand. So Phoenix Flame is going to be a key card in this deck, but I think relying too much on Phoenix Flame is going to hurt the deck, so we're going to have some balance in terms of that. Uprising, your next 4 Draconic attacks this turn gains +1, so basically buffs all 4 attacks. So this doesn't work with Kodachi, unfortunately, but it does work with Searing Emberblade, so you want to keep that in mind when playing Uprising. So another, I'm guessing these 2 actions are the one that I really want to highlight before moving into attack actions instead. So moving into attack actions, we have a few that is notable. One is I really want to point out is the Brandy with Cinderclaw. So remember when I mentioned that playing Kodachi might not be a good idea, but if you are playing Brand with Cinderclaw, if you're playing the blues, the yellows, and the reds, so you get to convert any of the attacks, the next one at least, into a Draconic attack. So this actually helps a bit in extending the Draconic chain link. So if you're playing let's say you're playing for example a Scar for a Scar, you wouldn't want to play it in a Fi deck, but still this actually converts that Scar for a Scar into a Draconic and also plus generic card type, so that's pretty useful. So Brand with Cinderclaw is definitely something you guys want to check it out. And also Soaring Strike is another common card that I find really useful, because if it hits, you get to banish an attack action card from your hand with a cost less than the number of Draconic chain links you control. So for example, you play this as the first card, so the cost that you can banish is basically cost 0, because Soaring Strike is going to be in chain link 1. So imagine playing this out and then playing Snatch, and Snatch has go again, so that's pretty useful. So your opponent wouldn't really want to let Soaring Strike to hit. And then next is Breaking Point. Breaking Point is pretty good for Rupture. If you played up to chain link 4 or higher, whenever this hits, you get to destroy the arsenal. So it's a pseudo CNC in a kind, but the difference is your opponent can actually use defense reaction, but the stat is just too good. For the cost of 1, it's dealing 5, and also it blocks for 3. Of course, we have Phoenix Flame, so definitely want to have 3 copies of this in the deck. Next, in order for you to easily obtain the Phoenix Flame, you're going to take a look at cards like Flame-Born Retribution. So whenever you defend this card, you may return a Phoenix Flame from the graveyard to your hand. So these are some of the way you can actually get Phoenix Flame back into your hand, and then buff out some of the attacks that Fi has. For example, the Fi Specialization, which basically has different effects depending on how many Phoenix Flame you play. Okay, as for instance, moving to instance, we can see some of the good instance that Fi can play are, of course, definitely 3 copies of Tome of Firebrand. So remember when Katsu actually gaining some popularity due to Even Bigger Than That. So Fi has some access to some good instant. I definitely wouldn't recommend playing Even Bigger Than That in Fi. Instead, go for Tome of Firebrand. You get to draw 2 cards, provided you of course play for more attacks that is draconic. So you want to make sure the chainlink are draconics. Once again, we see the issue with Kodachi. So so Tome actually lets you draw 2 cards. So that's really good. Next we have another instant which I kind of want to play in Fi, which is Art of War. Maybe 1 to 2 copies of Art of War. Really buffs up all the attacks, maybe even 3, just because Fi goes really wide. So the value of gaining +1 is really good. So if the attack doesn't have go gain, you can even give that. Of course, you could banish, do all kind of fancy stuff with Art of War. So that's basically it, I think, for the instant. Moving to the reactions, of course, we are looking at Razor Reflex. Definitely, if you want to force some hits, you want to force, for example, Soaring Strike. If it hits, you get to play a card and allow it to go again. So Razor Reflex pays really well with that, especially if your opponent likes blocking. Another one would be Ancestral Empowerment. A majority of our 5 stacks is going to be Draconic Ninja. So Ancestral does work to that, and you can get to draw a card. Always a good thing to draw a card. So that's basically it, guys. So that's some of the highlighted cards that I feel is going to see play. Definitely there are multiple ways and really flexible ways to build Fi. One that I really want to see being played is Brand with Cinderclaw, because it does allow some flexibility in terms of playing generics, as it does convert the next attack into a draconic attack, so that you don't really break the draconic chain link. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you guys in the next one. Do like, subscribe, let me know what you think about Fi down in the comments below, or if you already have an interesting deck build, share it to me. I definitely want to check that out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you guys in the next one. Bye.